Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me again for Learning Key Signatures. Today, we're going to be talking about the relative minor keys and scales instead of just the major ones. Have you ever wondered what makes a song spooky or sad instead of happy? A big part of that is the tonality. Remember that major usually is the happy sounding music starting on do if you're a choir person. And minor is the sad or spooky music, which starts on la if you're a la-based minor choir person. This time, we're going to be learning how to easily convert your major keys and major scales over to minor keys and minor scales using the same notes that are already there. Relative minor is based on major key signatures. We don't change the key signature at all, which means that we don't change any of the sharps or flats or naturals that already exist in the key signature. We're just going to start on a new note. Anytime that you use the same key signature but start and end on a different note other than the normal one, it is called a mode. Fun fact for you, the minor scales are based on the Aeolian mode. For minor, in order to convert from major, you just take the name of the major scale, go down 2 notes in that scale, and that is your new starting point. That will also be the new name of the minor scale, and that'll be also where you end your scale. Just another fun fact to help you if you're not so good at going down the scale, but you're really fast at going up the scale. Going 2 notes down to create a minor scale is the same as going 6 notes up. Usually, minor keys and scales have lowercase names and lowercase abbreviations. First, we gotta identify what the major key would be. This key signature says, I see no flats and I see no sharps, and therefore I am in the key of C. The next step is that we write out our major scale. But remember that this video is about creating minor scales. We need to go 2 steps down or 6 steps up. So in that case, that would be A. A is the new name of our minor scale, the new start of our minor scale, and the new finish of our minor scale. Here, the blue rectangle represents A migrating from being the 6th note, or second from the bottom, to being the new start and end of our scale. On the far right, you're going to see that B and C get chopped off because since A is the end of the scale, we don't need them anymore. And now we have the new spelling of our minor scale. It goes A, B, C, D, A, F, G, A instead of C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. The funky key of F has only 1 flat. So I spelled out the F major key and F major scale. Let's convert it to a minor scale. 2 notes down from F in the F major scale is D. So we're going to make D our new starting and ending note, get rid of E and F in the ends, and scoot it to the beginning instead. Our new spelling of our D minor scale looks like this: D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D. Where did the B flat come from? Well, it came from the key signature on the left. Now we have 3 flats. What is our second to last flat? E flat. So this is the E flat major scale, and our goal is to convert it to minor. So go down 2 notes in the E flat major scale to get C. We're going to scoot C to the beginning of our scale, and this is the spelling of our C minor scale. Let's add a lot more flats to make this more fun. The second to last flat here is D flat. So it is our D flat major scale. We need to convert it to minor. Go down 2 notes from D flat to get B flat. We'll move B flat to the beginning of our scale. And this is the new spelling of your B flat minor scale. Let's do all of the flats. The second to last flat is C flat. So we've spelled out our C flat major scale. Go down 2 notes to find A flat. We're going to move A flat to the beginning of the scale. Look at that. All of the notes are flat because that's what the key signature tells us to do. Time for some sharp scales. Remember, to find the name of a major sharp scale, we need to take the last sharp, which in this case is C sharp, and just go up a half step. So what is our answer? D, D major. So I've spelled out D major for you, and that's not the point. The point is to convert D major into whatever minor scale it needs to be. Go down 2 notes in the D major scale to find B. We're going to take B, make it the new start and end of our scale, and voila. We've got a scale that starts and ends on B and has 2 sharps. Why does it have 2 sharps? Because the key signature tells us so. Even more sharps. Skipping ahead just a little bit, our last sharp was D sharp. Go up a half step, and that's E major. We're going to take E major, go down 2 steps to find C sharp, move C sharp over, and that is the new spelling of this scale. You may be wondering, why does it have 5 sharps? Well, it doesn't actually. C sharp is the start and end of it, and so really there are only 4 sharps in this scale. Even more sharps. The last sharp here is E sharp. Take that up a half step, which is one of those weird ones. It's called the key of F sharp major. Go down 2 notes to find D sharp. D sharp is the new start and end to your minor scale. And there you have it. It's a D sharp minor. Do you remember the names of all of these flat major key signatures? Don't worry, we're not going to do all 7 right now. There they are. Our job now is to convert these answers from major to minor. You may be wondering how to do that without the scale in front of you. You're allowed to write out the scale and find out the answer that way. We just practiced that several times. But there's a faster way. If you just go down 3 half steps from the major answer, you will get your minor answer. How do you know your half steps, you might be wondering? Well, you can either use your chromatic scale to go down 3 half steps, or you can just look at your fingering chart and it will tell you the half steps. Let's convert the old flat keys to minor by using the 3 half steps rule. Remember that you can always spell out the scale and find out the way that we've already practiced it too. Looking at F major on the left, which has 1 flat, what is 3 half steps down from F? Well, you've got E, E flat, and D. So D minor shares the same key signature as F major. Scoot 1 to the right, we have B flat major. What is 3 half steps down from B flat? Well, you have A flat, and G. So G minor is the relative minor to B flat major. Let's proceed with all of the rest of these flat major key signatures and turn all of them into minor key signatures. This time, I'm going to let you go down the chromatic scale in your head instead of me giving you all of the answers. Starting with E flat major, what is 3 half steps down from E flat? C minor is the relative minor of E flat major. What is the relative minor of A flat major? F minor is the relative minor of A flat major. What is the relative minor of D flat major? Here it gets a little bit tricky. Did you say B or B flat? Checking this key signature, B flat is already there. So we know that B flat minor is the relative minor to D flat major. What is the relative minor to G flat major? It's E flat minor. What is the relative minor to C flat major? It's A flat minor. Let's talk about sharps. Do you remember the major key signature names to these sharp keys? Here are the answers. Let's not forget C major all the way on the left, which has 0 flats and 0 sharps. Convert the old major keys to minor using the same 3 half-step rule. What is 3 half steps down from C major? Well, from C, a half step down is B, then B flat, then A. So A minor is the relative minor to C major. Using the same process, what is the relative minor to G major? E minor. What is the relative minor to D major? B minor. What is the relative minor to A major? F sharp minor. Make sure you got the sharp in there. What is the relative minor to E major? C sharp minor. What is the relative minor to B major? It's G sharp minor. What is the relative minor to F sharp major? D sharp minor. What is the relative minor to C sharp major? A sharp minor. And just a reminder here, just in case you haven't picked up on the pattern, the major scales are capitalized and the minor scales are lowercase. Let's go through some examples so that you have some practice on your own. What is this major key? Well, the last sharp is A. What is a half step up from A sharp? It's B. So the major key is B. What is 3 half steps down from B? G sharp minor. What is the major key here? Well, the last sharp is G sharp. What's a half step up from G sharp? So A major is this key. So go 3 half steps down to get the relative minor. F sharp minor. If there's only one sharp, we are in the key of G major. 3 half steps down from G is what? It's E. So a relative minor is E minor. Practice some sharps. Last sharp is B sharp. What is a half step up from B sharp? It's C sharp major. Now we got to find the relative minor. So go down 3 half steps from C sharp. You may have said B flat, which is technically not wrong, but since this is a sharp key, we need to call it A sharp minor. What if there are no sharps and no flats? Well, you're in the key of C, right? If you see no sharps and you see no flats. Go down 3 half steps from C. What do you get? A minor. That's a lot of flats. The second to last flat is G flat. So this is G flat major. Go down 3 half steps from there. E flat minor is the relative minor to G flat major. What's this major key? It's A flat. How did I know that? It's the second to last flat. Now we need to find the relative minor. So what's 3 half steps down from A flat? F minor. Good old B flat major. What's 3 half steps down from that? G minor. Time to reflect. Why is it important to know the major keys and the minor keys instead of just the major keys all the time? Also, isn't it amazing that you can change the entire feel of a piece of music from happy to spooky or from happy to sad using the same notes in the scale? We're just changing which one we start and end on. Remember, that's called a mode, by the way. Did you notice a pattern of whole steps and half steps in the minor scales that we wrote out today? Just like last time, I'm going to give you this answer. This is the pattern of all natural minor scales. Instead of whole, half, like the major scale gave us, notice that it's whole, half, half, whole. This is why it sounds sad and spooky, because it's all about where that half step is leading. Choir friends, instead of starting and ending on do, remember that minor scales start and end on la, especially if your teacher is, on la-based minor. Now you know how to name sharp and flat minor key signatures, as well as creating flat and sharp minor scales. Congratulations. I have a little bit extra for you today. I wanted to introduce the two other types of minor scales that you could see. This is called harmonic minor. Did you notice that the key signature contains no sharps or flats, but when you look at the scale, there's a G sharp there? Anytime you raise the seventh note of a minor scale a half step, you get something called the harmonic minor scale. Choir friends, we need to change so to C because we are going outside of our key signature. Now we're talking about melodic minor scales, which weirdly enough is different going up than it is on the way down. So here's the first half, when the notes are getting higher. Notice that we changed not only the seventh note this time, but we also changed the sixth note. There are two sharps in this scale, even though there are no sharps in that key signature. Choir friends, the ascending melodic minor scale needs to have fi and si instead of fa and so. Now let's take a look at the descending minor scales. Remember, this is the part of the scale that goes backwards. You'll notice that there are no sharps anymore. The descending melodic minor scale is identical to the natural minor scale. So choir friends, we're back to our old fa and our old so. Again, thanks for joining us for learning more about key signatures. Hopefully this helps you memorize your scales faster and understand how the music that you're playing works in band, choir, or orchestra. Have an absolutely fabulous day, and we'll see you next time.